My name is Jake. I'm living in Da Nang at the moment with Lewis. Been working online for probably around 2 years now, but recently started working with Lewis probably like 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Yes, since we've been working together, Lewis has sorted me out in terms of my tax structure. I've been working online, was paying a fair amount of tax. Well, my tax was just a little bit messy. Like I didn't really have a structure in place. When I got speaking with Lewis, we were able to sort it out with me, and now I'm paying significantly less. Yeah, really grateful for that.
So let's just go back a few steps then. So before we started working together, where were you at sort of financially and mentally, and where would you say you're at now? Because I know you've been living in Southeast Asia quite a while.
Yeah.
How do you feel now compared to, I guess, when we first started working together?
So I think financially I wasn't doing amazing, but I was doing okay. I was in a place where I was earning enough to be concerned about tax and about the fact that I should sort it out. I was probably earning around sort of like 3 or 5k per month. Yeah, I basically just needed to sort it out, sort my tax out. Then I spoke to Lewis. We got into the details of it and realised that I didn't really have anything sorted. And instead of like putting it off, which I was doing for a good like year before that, we ended up getting on top of it. Now I just feel a little bit more like before. It was more guessing. I had no idea what's really happening with my tax or if I'm going to get in trouble for it. It was just all over the place. But now I'm earning more money. It's now in a place where I know that it's sorted and I don't have to worry about it. So in terms of mentally, I don't have to worry about overpaying tax. I don't have to worry about underpaying tax because I've got the systems and structures in place to allow me not to worry about that.
I know you said you were a bit sort of worried before. How would you say it's sort of improved your life? You know, I won't go into your exact figures, but let's say all those tax savings, what has that allowed you to do then?
Being able to get paid and then not all the money go on tax is an amazing feeling because you obviously get to keep a lot of it, which then allows you to spend it on other things. For me personally, I like having the extra money to put away in investments. So instead of giving that money away, I can then put it into investments that are going to return me more money. Obviously, I get to do some cool stuff lifestyle-wise as well. I get to travel, I get to buy nice things as well, although I don't do that much. The main thing is just knowing that when I get paid, most of my money is going to be mine and I'm not going to be giving it away to anyone. That's a really nice feeling because it allows you to be more abundant with your money because you've got more of it. That's what I would say it's allowed me to do. It's just given me more finances.
How long have you been in Southeast Asia?
This time around I've been here for 6 months, but I was here last year for about 9 months.
Would you say the main reason you are in Southeast Asia, then you left the UK, is that purely tax reasons or are there other reasons involved?
There were definitely other reasons to it. I think the tax is a great benefit for it as well. Another reason to add on to the many reasons to leave the UK. I think for me, like the biggest things are, you know, living in a place where it's very affordable, so you keep your expenses low and you can live a very nice life. Then also on top of that, the things that you can do while you're here, you get to travel, the weather's really nice, a lot of activities that you can do. Everything's really convenient. You can pay for a lot of services. You can outsource a lot of your work that frees up a lot of time to spend on your business or spend seeing friends. There's a lot of benefits to living in Southeast Asia aside from the tax, but then the tax is like an add-on. It's like, okay, if I'm outside of the UK, I'm not a tax resident for the UK, then obviously I get to benefit from not being in that system. So I think that is a benefit along with many, many other benefits of not being in the UK right now.
I agree completely with that, and obviously life out here is amazing, but of course the elephant in the room is most people are leaving for tax purposes. I know you mentioned that quite a lot of guys on the same offer of you as you still living in the UK and paying 50% in taxes. What would you tell someone sort of living in the UK paying 50% in tax? Because I know a lot of people living in the UK and really worried about the taxes, which I think you was, because I remember when you first reached out to me actually, you messaged me like, I'm in pain, can you help? So I guess what would you tell other people who was in a similar position to you?
I think it depends on the situation that you're in. I think there's two positions you can be in. You can be in a position where you're not paying any tax, especially if you're in this kind of space where maybe you're getting paid directly in your bank account and it's really messy and you haven't actually got anything in place. Then you set yourself up for being flagged. You can owe a lot in tax and there's a lot of uncertainty around that, and that can put you in a position where you're uncertain about whether you're going to get in trouble, like you're going to get fines, things like that. So if you're in that position, I would get that sorted ASAP. And then the other bucket is you're already paying tax in the UK and you're paying a lot of tax. I think if you're in that position and you're in a situation where you can get a tax structure where you are paying less tax, then why wouldn't you explore that option? Because realistically realistically, no one likes paying 50% tax, you said. Like, no one wants to pay that. So if you can set up something that lowers that and then frees up more money to go and spend on things that you actually want to, then it's a no-brainer.
So I guess your longer term plan, now you're paying a lot less in tax, how does that look for your future? What are your long-term plans? Do you plan to reinvest the money into property? Do you want to help your family out? What is the reason why you want to pay less tax? How do you plan on shaping your future with these tax savings?
I think for me, as I mentioned earlier, I think the main thing is putting it away and saving for the future, saving for the family that I want to create and the future of having financial stability, independence. When you can save that amount of money, that can be put towards that. So I think the long-term vision for me is staying out here, taking advantage of that structure, keep building the foundation, stacking the cash, and then get to a point where I'm reinvesting it and then I can free up more money to build business. So I think that's my long-term play. Stay here a little bit longer, keep taking advantage of that tax structure, keep investing, and then look at building something of my own.
I think obviously we started out working as clients, but I would class you as one of my friends, right now. We've got similar sort of mindset. I think people who leave the UK and move to Southeast Asia all have similar mindsets anyway, I would say. And it's going to be sad to see you leave.
Yeah.
Hopefully you will return. How have you found working with me then? Because I know there are a lot of other guys online and so-called gurus, potentially some incorrect knowledge out there. So I guess, why did you choose to work with me and how have you found the experience overall?
It definitely helps that we're like-minded and we're both from the UK. So I think it's easy to connect, for me to ask questions, us to have like an open dialogue about what's happening. And I think for me at the beginning as well, that I had a lot of questions and you were very good at answering those questions and being like, look, if there's any concerns or anything that you're unsure about, let me know and I can run through them. I think we met up for a coffee and you broke down things in a bit more detail, sending me reports, going through exactly the structure and how it works. So I think in that sense, you put me at ease in terms of how it works and what it looks like. So that is really helpful because we are similar.
So thank you for the compliments. And so I guess just to wrap this up then, I know a lot of people think they'll sort their taxes later, or sort it later, and I think you probably thought that at the time.
Yeah.
So I guess looking back at your younger self, what would you tell yourself, and I guess others who are thinking of the same, I'll sort my taxes later, what would you tell yourself and others who are probably earning good money, paying a lot in tax?
I would say just get it sorted because it's always going to be there. You're always going to be worrying about it. So you're better off just getting it out of the way and just sorting it as quickly as possible. Because once it's sorted, that's it. You don't have to worry about it. If you put it off any longer, then you don't know the repercussions. And like every month you leave it, you just keep paying tax. You're wasting more money by paying tax that you don't necessarily have to pay. It makes so much more sense just getting it sorted now. And if you're thinking about it, you're always going to think about it. So you might as well just act sooner than later.
No, I completely agree, and I think it's probably a good time to wrap it up. I mean, you're heading off to Thailand tomorrow. Chiang Mai, and then back to Vietnam in the future, hopefully. Which I guess all of this is probably possible because you're paying a lot less in tax, and it does let you live a better life. I think we'll wrap it up here, guys.
See you later.
See you later, guys.